Hello Shivers fans, Andy Logan here, creator of the Shivers. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the playable characters that you can play during your Shivers adventure. The game, in its core game version, comes with 6 playable characters, each with a standee and a character dashboard like this. And in the deluxe game, it comes with a couple extra deluxe characters that you can play that we'll get to later at the end. But for now, we're going to talk about each standee and the character dashboard that goes with them, of course. Some interesting things to note on the character dashboard. It's got a portrait of that character, a little biography of a description about them, their attributes, fears, even their favorite saying. And of course on this side we have a large area for inventory and notes to write with a dry erase marker. And on the back side we have just a few short paragraphs that are all the instructions your players need to know to get up and started on the Shivers that can be read in less than a couple minutes. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the first character from oldest to youngest. We're going to talk about Riley Shivers. He is the dad of the Shivers crew. Let me hold him up so you can see. It says, always quick with the dad jokes, Riley is a hardworking 45-year-old middle-aged manager who longs for some adventure. He's great with his hands, although his contraptions seldom work as planned. Favorite saying, quick, pull my finger. His abilities, he's great at constructing, such as making semi-useful items from commonly seen materials. And his strength, of course, lifting or pushing heavy objects. Fears, he has a great fear of snakes and spiders, so hopefully in your adventures you won't encounter many of those, but knowing Fogmore Manor here, you just might. So Riley lives right down the street from Fogmore Manor, the spooky house you'll be going to in your Shivers adventures, because the Shivers live just a few houses down the block. So that was Riley. As you can see here, he's got a briefcase with him, and a giant chin and mustache, of course. And he is the dad who goes on the adventures. So that's Riley. Next, we'll get into his wife, the mom, Rashida. Let me hold up Rashida's card for you. A former big city chef, the 40-year-old Raj is now settling into her new home and town, fiercely protective of her family. Woe be the one who steps between her and her children. Favorite saying? Don't make me come over there. Abilities. Karate. Can defend on attack against minor foes, but not during the endgame. Healing. She can make minor boo-boos go away with bandages and kisses. Purse. Contains various semi-useful items using the random items chart. Fears. Rodents and rats. Oh, I'm sure she's not going to encounter any of those, right? Let's talk about that purse of hers and the common items chart. Her and her son Brighton both have purses and backpacks that allow them to, during the game, pull an item from this chart. This is the Storyteller's Companion booklet. And as you can see, the chart has everything from a pack of bubble gum to a heavy dictionary to a pocket knife to a flying plastic disc, 10 feet of rope, pieces of tinfoil, a candy bar, a whoopee cushion, even an old dirty sock. All kinds of different items there you can select from by rolling the blue dice and deciding which one you get. So that may be useful in your adventure to pull up a random item out of the hat to see if it'll help you in your quest. So that was Raj or Rashida. Next we'll do their oldest son, Brighton. So here's Brighton. A big brother who looks out for his little sister, 13-year-old Brighton, is a very good student. Smart and bookish, he's most happy curling up with a good read at the town library. Tends to get tongue-tied with girls, though. Favorite saying? That's what I'm referring to. Abilities. Musical instruments, playing them or reading sheet music. Flashlight. He has a flashlight that can illuminate rooms. And, of course, a backpack, which you can see on his shoulder. Much like his mom's purse, that can be used to get random items during the game. Fears, being in the dark. Well, I'm sure there are no chances to go into the dark in a spooky haunted house like Fogmore Manor, right? Well, good thing he's got that flashlight. Okay, that was Brighton. Let's talk about his little sister, Frankie. A 9-year-old princess tomboy combo, Frankie is a fearless young sister. She aspires to be a bull rider or maybe a cake baker, or perhaps some combination of the two. Her courage often gets her into trouble and over her head. Her favorite saying, "Yee-haw!" Abilities, slingshot. As you can see in her standee, she's poised to fire that little slingshot. Can be used to hit objects or minor foes. Hiding. Her small size allows her to hide from detection. Fears, fruits and vegetables. Much like my own daughters, they have an aversion to certain natural foods like fruits and vegetables, but I'm sure Frankie will grow out of that, right? Luckily, she's not going to encounter a lot of fruits and vegetables in Fogmore Manor, or is she? She just might. Well, that's the core Shivers family. There are a couple other playable characters that are neighbors of the Shivers and who go on adventures with them. The first one is Autumn Lark, who is often found at the town library but also lives next door. A reclusive 13-year-old teen who faces challenges socializing and breaking out of her routine working at the town library. Not very verbal, but enjoys being with those she trusts, especially her helper dog Shep. Favorite saying, "Please give me some space." Abilities, photographic memory. She can recall any clue, note, or book she's previously seen. And hidden sight. She can sense any undiscovered items or hidden spirits in a room. Fears, fire, and being alone. So that's Autumn Lark, who I think is a very powerful character and also a very interesting one to play. Inspired by one of my daughters, definitely. And again, she's a neighbor, but she's really part of the family. So she's always on adventures with the Shivers. Okay, and the last but not least one is another neighbor. Whoops, there they go. Elijah Delgado. Let me read about Elijah. Elijah lives next door and knows all the spooky legends of Fogmore Cove. Hates being stuck inside, this 10-year-old is usually found playing sports on the neighborhood streets, always up for an adventure and a chance to use his athletic skills. Favorite saying, "He shoots, he scores." Abilities, athleticism, any task requiring physical skill or coordination, and he's got a tennis racket with him, can be used on any minor foes. Fears, he does hate small enclosed spaces, so let's hope he doesn't get trapped while inside Fogmore Manor. So those are the playable characters, Elijah and Autumn, the neighbors, Riley and Rashida, Mom and Dad, and of course, Brighton and Frankie, the children of the Shivers family. But as I mentioned, there's a couple of bonus characters. Many of you got the Kickstarter Deluxe version, which also features the pets you see on the cover here, Shep the dog and Ocean the cat. Here they are in their little standees. I haven't even punched them out yet of our manufacturing sample. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to punch Shep first. You heard Shep before. His name came up when we were reading Autumn's character dashboard. He is her helper dog. And when she's at the library, he's usually found roaming around the town of Fogmore Cove. So here's Shep. Shep roams the town freely, but can usually be found hanging out with Autumn. Always protective, he accompanies her whenever she's away from the town library. Loves vigorous belly rubs and playing fetch. Favorite saying, "Woof." Abilities, senses danger, general awareness of nearby foes or traps. Strong bite, can be used on minor foes. Now here's a challenge, he can only carry one item. He doesn't have hands or thumbs, he's a dog, or pockets. Fears, loud noises, and thunder and lightning. So it's going to be a challenge for players to play as Shep. Again, he can only carry one item with that mouth of his. And being a dog, he really can't read or speak. So we're excited to see how our fans come up with creative ways to play as Shep. And another pet they can play as is the cat Ocean, who's right here. I'm going to punch them out. All right, Ocean is free of her standee board. Here she is. Little tiny Ocean. The Shivers aren't sure when they got Ocean. She just showed up one day. Now she prowls the neighborhood looking for a tasty morsel, a free handout, or an errant ball of string. Loves being tossed high into the air and caught. Favorite saying? Meow. Abilities. Stalking, can chase down and catch small scurrying pests. Leaping, can jump up to great heights. Can only carry one item, of course, like the dog, cat. And has no pockets or hands. Her fears: big dogs, cucumbers, bananas, umbrellas, ghosts. Well, I'm sure she's going to encounter lots of those items in Fogmore Manor, so she might be a pretty scaredy cat for players who play with her. And of course, she hates big dogs, so you may want to not partner her with Shep on an adventure, or else those two will be going at it. So those are the two pet characters you can play as in our deluxe version. And you'll notice something curious on the standee board. There's also little miniature versions of them. And there are miniature versions of each of the playable characters, too. There may be times in some adventures when you get shrunk down to a teeny tiny size and your standee will become tiny as well. So that'll be fun to play with. And some of you bought our add-on of the Deluxe Ghost Pack, which is part of the Story Crafters Pack, where each character is also represented as their ghostly form, even the dog and the cat. On the Shivers game, dying is rare, but it can happen if you really work at it, and you can replace your standee with a ghost and continue the adventure that way. So that's just a deep dive into our playable characters. Stay tuned for more deep dives into other aspects of the Shivers game, and follow us on social media at the Shivers Game. And we hope to see you out there playing our game in the future. Thank you.